Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. Heidi here from Chillin' with H. And would you like to see how to make this delightful finger food or delicacy? It's really delicious and it's made with leaves. Yes, the leaves of the taro, or what we call Dasheen bush here in Trinidad and Tobago. And it's a very popular dish in Gujarat and Maharashtra in India. But how it came to Trinidad, I have no clue, but we love it, we enjoy it, and I'm going to show you how I make it. So keep watching. So we are making Saheena rolls or Saheena logs, and that's what we call it here in Trinidad. In India, it's called Alu Vadi, and it's very popular in Gujarat and Maharashtra, as I mentioned before. So right now I have two sinks. Well, it's a double sink. One side I have water filled up, clean water filled up, and I've cut a lime. You can use lime or lemon and squeeze the juice in the water. And I'm just removing the leaves from the stems, and we're going to be using the leaves only, not the stems. So that's the reason. And I'm going to soak it into the lime juice water, and then I'm going to give it a clean rinse on the other side. I always make sure that I wash the leaves properly, because you might not see it, but there might be bits and pieces of dirt or sand stuck on the leaves, or even little bugs and so it's very important to wash it. Another reason why I'm using lime juice is because it helps to cut that itchy feeling that you get. Sometimes you touch it and your skin starts itching, and I think that is due to some allergic reaction that some people have, and also to reduce the stain. The Dasheen or taro leaves do produce a sort of stain, a chemical stain. If you use your fingers without any gloves, then it will get stained sometimes and it will itch. So this is another reason why I'm using gloves. In Trinidad, we refer to Dasheen leaves or taro leaves as bhaji. So throughout this video, you might hear me use the term bhaji, okay? So just be conscious of that. So when you buy a bundle of bhaji in the grocery or supermarket, or even at your fresh produce market, you're going to get various sizes, and of course sometimes you get soft leaves, or you might get one or two hard leaves in between in the bundle. So you just have to be aware of it, and I'm going to show you how you can still make the rolls with large leaves, small leaves, various sizes. Some people only prefer to get the large leaves because it's easier to layer, and of course it's easier to roll. But I'm going to show you how you can do it with various sizes. So that's what we are going to do today, and of course I hope that you keep watching. Drop a comment down below. You can let me know how you make it and what you enjoy eating it. What is your favorite chutney as well? If you find that my taro leaves are looking a little wilted or crinkled on the ends, it's because it's not absolutely fresh. It's the day after that I received it, and I'm making this the day after I received the bundle of bhaji. And the reason for that is because when it gets a little stale, so to speak, the leaves become a lot easier to work with. It's a lot more pliable. If it's fresh, the leaves are going to be real perky, and it's going to give some problems to roll out. Some people like to steam the leaves before they actually roll it or paste it, and some people actually roll the leaves out with a rolling pin to flatten it. I don't do any of that. So if you want to see how I do it, just keep watching. So you see I have a massive leaf here. This is one of the big ones that you get sometimes in a bundle. And what happens when I am about to apply paste, I just sort out the really big ones and put them aside. And the reason for that is because I'm going to use two of the biggest leaves as the base for my log, my Saheena log. I use that and lap one leaf on top of the other and apply my paste, and then I layer the smaller leaves on top. So I'm making sure that I give the leaves a good wash. Even though I have clean water in the second sink, I'm also letting water from the faucet fall and wash the leaves. And of course, taro leaves has a wax, a type of wax or chemical on it, so the water just actually rolls out. That's why you have to pass your hand on it to rub off any sort of particles that might be stuck on the leaves. So I just take additional hygienic strategies in order to make sure that the leaves are clean, because you don't want, when you're eating a Saheena, to bite into something that's like a sand particle or so. It's the most awful thing, and it's such a turn off when you're eating food. So just make sure that you wash your leaves very clean and you put it to drain, so that the water, at least most of the water drains off the leaves. To make the paste, I'm using split peas powder, yellow split peas powder, and be sure to check the description box down below for the list of ingredients. And I'm mixing it all together with the seasonings. And I'm not using a ton of different seasonings, because the real taste comes in the actual paste that you're going to use when you're going to fry. I'll show you that in a little while. But right now I'm just adding simple ingredients, which would be blended shadow bani, blended garlic, some turmeric or haldi powder, salt is very important, and I'm giving that a good mix with some water. And the consistency is like that of cake batter. That's what you're looking for. And this is going to be like the glue that holds the leaves together. I do apologize, I did not show you guys the first layer with the two largest leaves, and the reason for that, I thought I was recording when the phone was actually not on record. So what you're going to do is use two of the largest leaves from your bundle, and you're going to place that on your countertop, flatten it down with your hand, and apply paste on it, and then overlap one on the other, just about 2 inches overlap. And then from there you're going to turn the leaf upside down and apply paste as I'm doing here. You use various sizes, it doesn't matter, but you're going to put the smaller ones on the inside, because when you roll, at least those will be on the inside and they won't fall apart. I'm using gloves here to apply the paste, because I also had blended pepper in my seasonings and I don't want my fingers burning, so hence the reason I'm using gloves. Now this is how I fold or roll my leaves. I fold the ends in first, about 2.5 inches in, and I leave one end open, which would be the final end, so to speak, and then I'm rolling it into a very tight roll. So you have to take your time and pull the leaves together and roll, as I'm doing here in the video. You need to get a very tight roll so that there are no gaps in between when you slice your Saheena log. Sometimes there are spaces or gaps, and that's okay, nothing is wrong with that. If it happens, no big deal, don't worry about it, it's normal, it can happen. Alright, because you will be applying paste on both sides of it, and so that paste is going to get into the gaps. So don't worry, don't fret, don't freak out if you see gaps when you slice your Saheena log. Because I did not previously steam the taro leaves or bhaji leaves or roll it out with a rolling pin, you would see this challenge of where the leaves are puffing up. That's fine, just flatten it as you go along. Now I also kept back 2 other big leaves that I got in the bundle, and the reason for this, if you look carefully, you'll see in the roll it looks like pieces of leaves, just like a flap. That's the reason I'm using these other 2 big leaves. So I'm pasting it, and then I'm going to place that roll into these leaves and tuck the ends in and give it a roll so that you get a nice smooth roll. And then of course put it on some foil. Some people use wax paper or what have you, and you can steam it. I just place it on the foil and of course put it to steam. I don't have a steamer, so I'm using a grill pan that I have. It's absolutely clean, and of course I'm a vegetarian, so I don't ever cook meat in that, so it's absolutely clean. And I put it on top. I put the Saheena rolls on top of the grill pan, and of course I cover it with 2 large basins that I have to retain the steam, and of course get the logs all steamed up nicely. And you steam this for about maybe 15 minutes or so, 15-20 minutes maximum. But the only way you will know if it is steamed, you have to keep opening the foil and checking to make sure that the leaves are nice and steamed. Also, just remember you will have to rotate the rolls, turn them around in order for them to steam evenly throughout. So this is what it looks like when it's completely steamed. And because I made these for Diwali, I allowed them to cool properly, and then I put them in the freezer. I actually wrapped the entire log in plastic wrap or cling wrap, and then I put it in the freezer for Diwali. And on Diwali day now, this is where I'm preparing the actual Saheena for eating. So I'm slicing up my Saheena log here, and a good size is about 1 centimeter to 1.5 centimeter thick. Some people like it thicker than that. If it goes thicker than that, just be mindful that it will soak a lot of oil and it's going to take a little longer to cook. Make sure that you use a serrated knife, or what we call a bread knife, to get a nice clean cut. The serrated knife gives a nice clean cut, and you don't have jagged edges, and you don't have a squashed or mushed up Saheena slice. And some people just like to cut it, the regular circles. I'm actually cutting mine on a slant or a bias and giving it a little pull apart and opening it up a little bit. And the reason for that is because as the leaves were steamed and then it was even frozen, it stuck together and came really close. Now some people like that. I am just opening it out and trying to shape it up and make it look a lot more pleasing to the eyes. And then I'm going to apply the paste on both sides of the slice and fry it in the hot oil. Since I don't have a thermometer to check the oil temperature, what I do is test it by dropping a little bit of batter into the hot oil, and once it bubbles up and rises to the top, you know that it's ready. So go ahead and apply the paste on both sides of the Saheena slices and add to the hot oil. Please be careful that you don't get burned, and of course make sure that you have a bowl or basin with some absorbent paper, maybe paper towels or some brown paper. And of course, when you drain your Saheena, you're going to put it in that basin. I'm using this log for Diwali. The paste that I'm using is actually some of my kachori paste, and if you want to see how I make kachori, the full recipe is here on my YouTube channel. You can check it out. So before I added all the ingredients for the kachori, I just took out some of the ground chana or grind chana or processed chana, if you want to say that, and I seasoned it well with some shadow beni and green seasonings and salt and a little bit of turmeric and of course some blended pepper. I always add a little hot pepper in there as well for flavor, and that's what I'm using. Some people use Urdi dal powder, some people use the same yellow split peas powder and make a paste. When you remove the sahinas from the oil, especially if you're frying in batches, you will get little bits and pieces of crumbs or whatever, dregs if you want to call it that. You can use a fine mesh metal strainer and scoop up any bits and pieces that you see in the oil, because you don't want to leave that and it's going to burn and get all, you know, messy and ugly on your sahina. So take a metal, make sure it's metal and not plastic. It's a metal mesh strainer, and clean the oil, scoop it out and clean the oil after you remove a batch of the Saheena slices. Saheena or Alu Vadi is such a versatile snack, and it can become a dish as well. You can stew it or curry it like you would fish, and of course serve it with rice or roti. Here I am serving it with some delightful pommecythere chutney. Pommecythere is known as June plums or golden apple, and I love it like that. So you can serve it with your favorite chutney as well. I hope that you enjoyed today's video, and if you did, please remember to give it a thumbs up, like and share the video. And if you're new, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button so that you get more of my videos, and of course click on the bell icon for notifications when I upload new videos. Thank you so much for watching. Enjoy your Saheena or Alu Vadi, and I'll see you guys soon in the next video.